Hey Roger, how you doing? Like this nice country scene? Hey Voyager. Well, good for you. I just met a guy yesterday buying a mattress. He moved from the UK to Saginaw, Michigan 20 years ago. Good, Roger. How you doing? When you gonna come over here and visit? I'll take you to all the good spots. Party all night. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you should do it. Hey, Thea. It's gonna be a hot day today. Hey, Mary, how you doing? I just sent you an email. It's gonna be a hot day today. Oh yeah, that's really how I am too. Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, so sad. She just graduated. All that effort, double master's degree. You know, the articles I read said that the guides didn't do an updated weather report. I mean, that could be media troublemaking, but if that's true, then I hope they get sued. That's the whole reason you hire a guide. I know two fishing guides that have been sued and lost their ass from drowning people, taking them out in perilous conditions when they should have known better. Hey, loved one. You know, believe it or not, though, out there this time of year, I don't know if you've been to the Grand Canyon much. It's not that freak of an accident. Hey, Samka. Hey, Mary, get a Lotto 47. Nobody won it. Yeah, it's like 16 million. Get a Fantasy 5 too while you're at it. It's only $1. Unless somebody hit it. Well, actually, nobody did hit it yesterday. I think it's around 160 grand. And actually, the Powerball and the Mega Millions aren't bad either. They're no record pots, but they're not that bad. A lot of accidents here in the summer. Poorly designed. It's old school intersection. Those roundabouts are a pain in the ass, and old people are afraid to drive through them, but they're way safer. I'm gonna go into Wally World. I got a broken lens on my trailer. I really can't figure out if I got pulled over, if I'm gonna get a ticket or not. I got insurance, not that that means shit, and I made the first available appointment to get a trailer tag that I could. But technically, you're not supposed to have an unlicensed trailer on the road. But I've read on different blogs that the state, because of this COVID, you can't just walk in there anymore, gives you a grace period. Well, that may be true, but if you read the law, it says you're supposed to go directly to and from the place that you bought it. And I did that, but I also been driving directly to the lake because I want to enjoy it. I'm a gambler. If I get a ticket, I get a ticket, but I'd rather not. So go to Wally World. I'm glad we have this Walmart. I'd be paying up the ass for everything if I didn't. Wally World. Hey Mary, make a list up there of places where you'd like some of those infrared photos taken. You know, really cool places. The more foliage, the better. And if it's closer to metal or buildings, even better yet. Living on the edge. Well, it's funny, you know, I got that bullshit ticket for Daisy on my lap, which I should have never got. I've been driving around like that for 40 years. There was no careless driving, no reckless driving. I got that bullshit ticket in Glacier National Park too. I shouldn't have got that either. It's not inherently dangerous to have a camera on when you're driving. Another bullshit ticket. It's not illegal in a state or a county or a city park. Just another money grab. Well, anyway, I get that bullshit Daisy ticket, this racist state trooper with a criminal record in Ohio that was texting as he was pulling me over. He's no angel either. Anyway, I end up working it out with the prosecutor where I plead guilty. I shouldn't even got the damn ticket. And I was unfortunate enough to have just as big of an asshole judge. He didn't even want to see my evidence. Anyway, I worked out a deal with the prosecutor to plead guilty to some bullshit, you know, not yielding to a ground squirrel or some shit, so it wouldn't be any points. And I figured I was fine with that, right? No points. I mean, isn't that what we're all trying to avoid? Well, I insured this trail the other day in my kayak. $100 too. It's another ripoff. I should have probably checked around more and done it through my condo insurance, but I was too lazy and I wanted to get it insured. And part of the reason was if a cop pulled me over, I could say, hey, look, I'm doing what I can. I got it insured. He shouldn't care about that. But anyway, when I go to get this insurance, this guy at Progressive says to me, I see you got a safety violation a year and a half ago, which would be about right. I said, that's on my record? He said, yeah, it's not points, but it's a safety violation. He said, you know, that can affect your rates. So here I'm thinking, I'm jumping through all these hoops, not getting any points in a safety violation, which was bullshit. I pled guilty to it, even though there was no safety violation, may affect my rates. It's nuts. I don't mind getting a ticket if I really deserve it. I really don't, man. I'll go down and pay that goddamn thing. I mean, I'll ask him, hey, any way I can, like, you know, kiss your ass on public TV, help crippled squirrels get up to the bird feeder and rate it like the healthy ones. I try and get a deal, but I'm all for accepting responsibility. but not bullshit tickets. That Daisy ticket was bullshit. It was. Yeah, that's it. No, they do count your credit rating. Yep. I'll tell you another one. When I got in that bullshit about 4 years ago, I represented myself through all that, and I've told you before, it's not like I'm some smart guy that is smarter than everybody in the equation, but I will outwork their ass to death. You guys ever get tickets, lawsuits? You want to file a lawsuit? I know every trick in the book. They'll laugh at the beginning and say this is going nowhere, and 2 years later and $10,000 that they spent, you've represented yourself and they had to get a lawyer. They won't be smiling anymore. Hey, it's legal. When you're in court, it's not if it's right or wrong. Is it legal? Big, huge difference. Giant difference. But anyway, I ended up getting out of all the criminal stuff. Who the hell wants a criminal record? I never even got charged with a damn crime. I ended up getting it all pleaded down to civil infractions. But here's the point. I thought that I was ready to put on a party hat and get some party favors. At first they thought I was driving under the influence, which I was not. Then they thought I was OWI on drugs. I was not. And then it finally came down to, and I agreed with this, we just can't have people running into cars and leaving. And I agreed with it. It's like, right. It's like, I'm with you on that. He said, I don't know what in the hell is going on in your head, but we just can't have that in society. It's like, yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, how about this? I pay restitution, cover everybody's deductible. I never been charged with a crime. I had no tickets for like 20 years. Had a good driving record. I got mental health counseling. And it won't happen again. I mean, my drug panels came back, nothing, no alcohol. He said, well, after you hit the first car, you should have stopped. I said, hey, if I had a crystal ball, I would have. God damn it, I'm 150 miles away from home. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm thinking I'm fine. I didn't think I'd hit the first one. Never been in car wrecks before. And he said, well, you should have had the wherewithal to pull over and call somebody. I said, hey, man, in hindsight, yeah, I agree with you. So anyway, here's the bottom line. So I end up pleading guilty to careless driving, which is a civil infraction. It's 3 points and the same as a speeding ticket. And I thought I was home free because reckless driving is criminal. And I'm thinking, well, if it's the same as speeding, no big deal. Well, you know what? It was a civil infraction, and it is off my record now. And it was a good deal to strike. But when I went around and looked for new insurance rates, what I didn't realize was that insurance companies consider reckless driving and careless driving the same. They don't care if one's a criminal charge and the other one's a civil charge. All they care about is you're out there causing claims and damages and making people write checks. Now that's why I will say, you can say what you want. I had a perfect driving record for like most of my life. And I had State Farm. Hey, there's a kestrel just killed a American brown sparrow. Right there. He just swooped down and attacked that sparrow from behind. A kestrel. So anyway, the only company that wasn't trying to bend me over, believe it or not, was Progressive. And I've been with them ever since. I got a hold of them on the phone and they said, hey, you see you got this ticket, you had a good record before that. See him right there? He just took it. That kestrel, he just killed a sparrow. I've never seen that before. That's not true, Roger. That's not true. That's not true on plea deals. And that is a factor, but it's not necessarily true. I had a chance of winning, but it's expensive. Another thing that people don't realize is that, you know, you have a right to an attorney. If you can't afford one will be appointed. Yeah, that's true. But you know what most people don't know? You pay for that. That isn't free at all. That gets added onto your court cost. And let's say I want to get a jury trial, right? That gets added onto your court cost too. You know what it costs for a jury trial? This thing that they tell all the kids in school is free and you're right as an American? That's $2,500 more attached on your court costs for a jury trial. None of this stuff's free. Oh, good for you, Maggie. Yeah, well, I'm thankful for Progressive. Now, I've heard this. If you want good rates, they're the way to go. But if you're a collision shop and you have to deal with them, it's a nightmare. They want used parts, cheap parts, knockoff parts. They nickel and dime everybody. Probably true. But they were good to me, and it's a pain in the ass getting a hold of them. Like, it's always hard to get on their website. I'll tell you another thing too. People down on their luck, you get charged with a crime, some bullshit, and they want to give you a court-appointed attorney. Let's say you get a drunk driving ticket, right? You go to an attorney that's got a good reputation. He's lucky, you know, he nitpicks. He finds out the cop was, you know, had a spotty record, whatever. He wants $3,500 down to start challenging your drunk driving ticket. When you get a court-appointed attorney, you know what the reimbursement was up in Otsego County? You know, they claim if you can't afford an attorney, we'll appoint one for you. You know what his flat rate fee is to defend you? $275, which is nothing. You don't know anything. You're just a young guy. You're out chasing skirts. You had too many beers. You got pulled over. I don't think you should be drunk driving, by the way. I'm not defending it. And you go and you don't have any money. You've been laid off for a year. COVID wrecked your employment. So you go in there. It's like, I can't afford an attorney. It's like, no problem. We'll appoint you one. You get a hold of this guy. And the first thing he wants to do is plead your ass out. Because there's no money in defending you. You think you're going to get for $275 what someone got for $3,500? You're dreaming. So he strikes a plea deal. What most people don't realize is you can work out the same plea deal yourself as an attorney. Usually, there are exceptions. I don't think Trump owns Progressive, does he? I don't think he does. Really? I didn't know that. How long's he owned Progressive? Hey, get that My Radar, Mary, for where you live. It's free. Of course, you can't find your phone. When you find it, get My Radar. Really? You sure about this? Daisy just went swimming. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I've been thinking about doing some like safety videos on how people drowned in their kayaks. The first one comes to mind is what I talked to last night, because I've messed around water my whole life. And that is, if you fall out of your kayak and it's windy, like a little wind right now, There, unless you're lucky enough to kick it upwind and it blows back towards you, Tarzan couldn't catch up to a kayak, even with a light breeze. You will not be able to swim fast enough to catch up to your kayak. So here you're ended up standing up, stretching, go in the bathroom, whatever the hell you're doing, you're way out in the middle of nowhere, and you fall off that kayak. That could be lights out depending on how far from shore you are if you don't have a life jacket on. Nobody plans on having an accident. It's like these idiots that walk around with kids on their shoulders while they're walking down concrete sidewalks. I think, does it get any dumber than this? Nobody plans on tripping. Here you got a little beanie helmet on this little brat when he's riding a tricycle. Everything's idiot proof, and you've got some parent with a toddler on his shoulders walking down Madison Avenue in New York City in the summertime. Oh, good, thank you. Yeah, it's good. Oh, Peter B. Lewis. Thank you, Blue. See, Trump doesn't own Progressive. I didn't think he did. Where do you come up with this crazy bullshit? No kidding, Mary. Yeah, no, I know. I think might do a video on that. That's exactly why I've got an anchor and 100 foot of rope that I put on the back of my kayak when I'm in deep water and there's a chance that I could. I put it back there even if there's a chance I'm probably not going to tip it over. So at least if it goes upside down, now that wouldn't help me if it stayed right side up and I was stupid enough to stand up and fall out. Oh, sorry about that. There was the mayor of Au Gres about 7 years ago. Her son was down around Milford. A couple girls got in a canoe, and you know they have those. They call them tumbler dams. Those little 4-foot dams that you see in a lot of cities where the river goes through. And they were drowning, and he got out to save them. Ended up getting them out of there, and he drowned and died. It doesn't get any sadder than that. Yeah, it'll keep it floating, but you better hope you can catch up to it if the wind gets it. Another thing that's a good idea to have, I almost got this instead of the anchor, is a sea anchor, which kind of looks like a jellyfish. It's like a parachute underwater, and that will keep your kayak from outrunning you if you have to swim to catch up to it. But it's just kind of a pain in the ass having one of those around all the time. I was flying one time down near Monroe, near the Fermi plant, and you know, it's an uncontrolled airport, and I wasn't landing there, but I was thinking about it. So I happened to have my radio tuned into the frequency for announcing in the blind. Those are pilots that just announce their position in the air traffic pattern so other pilots around there know what's going on. And believe it or not, Detroit Approach contacted me, Detroit Metro Airport. And they said, airplane, you know, down around the Fermi plant, do you hear us? It's like, yeah, I hear you. What's going on? It's like we had a report of there's a boat that sunk about 6 miles southeast of where you're at. Would you be willing to go out and look while the Coast Guard is on their way? It's like, yeah, I'd be glad to, man, no problem. So they gave me vectors and a squawk code, and I went out there and looked, and I never found anything. I went up and down there for an hour and 20 minutes. And a Coast Guard helicopter finally came out there too. I don't know whether, I tried following up on it, but I don't know whether it was a prank call or what. But I was hoping I could have found him. Oh, no kidding, Mary. Wow. That sucks. People don't believe rip currents either. Yeah, actually, I was kind of excited doing it, man. I mean, it's not really a hero, you know. I mean, you're in an airplane, and shit, man. I hope I could have helped him, but I sure as hell looked. They kept getting on me because I've always been kind of a low flyer. They kept saying that they lost radar contact. Yeah, I'll tell you why I lost radar contact with me, because I was too low. I'll tell you, if it's choppy out, it's hard to see people in the water. It really is. And if you're on a boat and you're looking horizontally, you're always wondering, well, how do you not see these people? I'll tell you how, because if you've got 3 foot waves, a head is sticking out of the water like 10 inches. It's hidden by the waves most of the time. Unless you're way the hell high up, like on a cruise ship or something, you can't see horizontally for shit if it's a little choppy out. The 85% of the time, the head's below the height of the wave. You're lucky if you catch it bobbing. Oh man, I would drown. I can't swim that great. A little bit, but not that great. I mean, I bought a big old ass kicker life jacket yesterday. If I drown, I'm gonna have a life jacket on, but I'm telling you, it'd be a no-brainer without one. That's another thing, man. Study up on life jackets. Most of them aren't worth a shit. There's 5 grades. The ones you should have on is grade 1, class 1. The trendy, cool-looking ones that fit the requirement of the Coast Guard. Man, you better not be out there long. You'll be drowned in that one too. You need the old-fashioned class 1 life jacket, the big, ugly orange one that makes it look like you're on the Titanic. That's the one that's going to save your ass. Hey, Kevin. No kidding, Mary. Wow. Yeah, down in Florida, they have those canals. And as soon as I moved there, a guy drowned right down the street. You know, you go over that steep embankment, it rolls you upside down. It's just perfect to drown your ass. You go over, the tire cuts into the dirt. You make a quick right turn, and as you're heading down into this giant draining ditch, your car is flipping upside down. So all of a sudden, it's pitch dark. You're going to have a hard time getting the doors or windows open, and you're disoriented. It isn't like you know which way is up when you drive straight into clear water that you can see. And if you ever watch these videos, there's some on YouTube. When you roll that window down, it's like a fire hose. Plus, you're freaking out the whole time. They say remain calm. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the one that'll save your ass, that orange one. It's a Type 1 life jacket. And the funny thing about it is, they're the cheap ones. The ones that'll, give you more time, but they're not going to save you. You got a bunch of zippers, and you can put your mistress's phone number and a pack of rubbers and some KY jelly and some fishing lures in it. You got more pockets and you know what to do with. But the ones that are really going to keep you alive, you just look like a big nerd. Nobody plans on drowning, which is why everybody's wearing the designer life jacket. The Coast Guard pulls you over, or you met the requirement. And, hopefully you don't go overboard, because if you do, you're not going to last that long in that trendy looking life jacket you have. I'll tell you, one time when I was living down in Florida, we had a hurricane come through there, and I had this old giant military surplus life jacket, like you'd be on a battleship. It looks like a giant parachute. So anyway, and I tested it out in a pool, and there is no way in hell my head was going underwater. So we got this hurricane going on, so I thought, I'm going to go down, I'm going to check out these waters with this life jacket on. And I had a tether, rope, all sorts of shit. Sure enough, I went down the beach, got in the water, and I'm not shitting you, man, that riptide would have carried my ass out into nowhere if I hadn't set up right for that. And they had some markers. They were like mini buoys. And I remember like just grabbing onto one, because you think if you got knocked out of your boat or you fell over, that you could just grab onto something until somebody saved you. Let me tell you, when it's rough like that and you grab onto something, you feel like it's going to pull your arms out of the joints. You're not hanging on to anything very long because it just beats you up, tires you out, and before you know it, out of fatigue, you're letting go. That's the reality of it, hanging on to something in choppy waters. It beats you up. Same with these people in these flash floods. Like this poor girl from Ann Arbor just died in yesterday. You know, it could be media troublemaking, but it looks like the guides didn't get an updated weather report. Those flash floods, you're thinking, well, how the hell do you die in a flash flood? I'll tell you how you die. It beats you up. Comes through there about 3 or 4 feet, drags your face across a bunch of rocks, slams you into a bunch of logs. You're gasping for air, and before you know it, 200 yards down where it got your ass, you're out of air, you're dead tired, and you're beat the hell up. It's not just a normal drowning. Good for you, Blue. Daisy's had a nice swim today. She said, Dad, don't take me out in that kayak again tonight. That's enough. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, right, Mary. Right on, Edward. I'm going to try and blow mine up. I'm going to try and blow mine up. Yeah, I don't know if she does or not. I mean, last night, before, like, she gets on my lap and, and I'm pedaling, it's not that fun. But last night she laid sideways, and actually she's back far enough to where it doesn't affect my pedaling. So I got an idea that's probably the way we're going to go from now on, and I won't even mess around with that front. Yeah, you're right. On the front of the kayak, it's like, animals are smart. You don't see them walking off the cliff at the Grand Canyon because they don't realize they're going to fall a half mile down, splatter into a million pieces. They're smart. Daisy knows when she's on the tip of that kayak that this is not ground. So I think she feels much better in my lap. I think you're right about that. It's funny you should say that because last night I'm getting the kayak ready. Now she'd already been in it once, and she looked at me like, oh god damn, the kayak. So I said, Daisy, come on, we're going bye-bye, and she wouldn't come over to me. And I went to grab her and she took off a little bit. I said, come on, we're going bye-bye in the kayak. Yeah, I think you're right about that. I mean, hopefully she gets used to it, but I'm not going to torture her with it if she doesn't like it. Unless it's like perfect conditions, like last night. I'm not going to take her with me. Yeah, that's exactly how it is, yeah. That's how Daisy seems too. She looks around, and I mean, you can tell she's no Springer Spaniel getting ready to head after a duck that I just shot. She's looking around like the Grim Reaper's right around the corner. Yeah, it was nice. I thought about last night, to keep legal, all I need is a white light, which I had, and it needs to be visible from a mile. But in this kit that I got, I also got a red and white nav light that you could put on whatever. They're portable. You can use Velcro. You can use, these rods, these clamps, a million ways you can mount it. And I didn't put it on because I thought, well, I'm trying to keep legal. But I realized last night, if you were watching the live, when I was paddling, like I said, you get your brain does tricks on you at night. When it's dark and visibility's down and you're in a there's not much of a moon and it's just nightfall, not a lot of lights near you. It's hard to see sometimes. And as I was paddling around, even though I'm legal, as I'm paddling along the shore, I see this thing. It looked, honest to God, I know this sounds crazy, but it looked like Jesus or something coming out of the water. I thought, what in the hell is that? This is, again, your mind playing tricks on you. And what it was is a guy standing up on like a really nice, like 22-foot boat with some kind of light pointing upward. So he looked like kind of a statue. He didn't have any other nav lights on the boat. And I was probably within 15 feet of him, and I thought to myself, oh, that's a boat. See what I mean? And I didn't think too much of it at the time. If you were on the live, we chatted for a little bit about the drive system in my kayak and how late they were going to stay out. And when I was laying in bed last night, I was thinking that, yeah, that's true, you're out there. But let's take, for an example, that same scenario presented itself. And as I was coming towards them, before I really put together, what is that ahead of me? He would have got a call from his wife and said they had an emergency and they had to leave. Just think if he'd have been in his boat, him and his buddy would have put down their fishing rod. They'd have looked out front. They wouldn't have seen my white light because it was behind me and my back and my seat. Fired that damn 22-foot boat up, hit full throttle and went forwards, just like an airplane when you're taking off. That nose is up. You can't see shit in front of you. And just been, emergency came up, they get in this boat, they need to get back to the dock. All of a sudden they fire it up and they run right over me because they never saw me. Now I was still legal, but I got thinking about that last night and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get some Velcro and I'm going to put that green and red light on the front of that damn thing next time I go out there. Because that's a perfect example why. That's how accidents happen. Yeah, Daisy's a super smart dog. I know I brag about my dog all the time, but I'm telling you, man, I've had a lot of dogs, and I thought I had some really smart dogs, but nothing like Daisy. She is a supercomputer, sizing things up all the time. Yeah, reflective tape too. But you see, if they don't have a light on, reflective tape's not going to do any good. This green and red light that I have on front will work. It looks just like the front of a boat. I mean, I thought it was like, I'm not trying to be, Gilligan's Island. But in the event that a boat was coming toward me at night, in a spontaneous situation like I just described, it's just not worth not having it on there because you're not going to see me. I didn't see them till I was right up on their ass and I was doing 3 miles an hour. That's the kind of thought you have, though. I'm thinking to myself, what in the hell is that there? The guys weren't talking, and this guy was just like standing up on this like platform of this $50,000 fishing boat. And then I got really close and I thought, look, that was the first thing that came into my mind. It looks like Jesus standing on the water. Here it is, this faint light, and a guy standing up with a fishing pole in the pitch dark. Yeah, I mean, I thought, but I've had this happen in airplanes before, where you're looking out there and you're thinking, what in the hell is going on here, man? I was flying one time in Ann Arbor, out dicking around a nice summer night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, just flying over Ann Arbor, Chelsea, and I see this bright light. And I'm like, you're flying the plane and you look and it's not like moving like it should. So you turn to the left, you turn to the right. It's like, God damn, what is that light, man? It's brighter than hell. So I end up just flying towards it. And I'm thinking, is this a UFO? I mean, this is like bright, man. This is like a cop's light pointed up in the sky. You know what it was? Reflection off a shopping cart in the Myers parking lot. The light was hitting it just right. That's how your mind plays tricks on you. Yeah, but you know what, Jeff? I'll tell you this, man. I can give you plenty of examples. First of all, smart and intelligence. What is it really? Is it being on the honor roll through high school? Is it screwing more women than all your buddies? I mean, what is smart? As I've aged, I'm not really sure what that means, but this is what I know for sure. I can give you probably 10 examples of people that I know were smarter than me. They they were smart people that are in the graveyard now. And so I'm very humble and I try to pay attention. But I know some smart people that are long gone from bullshit happening like I just described. And I'm sure I'll spend the rest of my life trying to keep from being a victim from doing something really stupid. Like this poor girl that drowned in this flash flood that just got 2 master's degrees from the University of Michigan. That stuff can get me really bummed out. I'm scrolling through the news this morning. Ann Arbor, I spent a lot of time there. I kept an airplane there for 20 years. And here she goes to University of Michigan, which is a lot of effort. I mean, you just can't be a D student. She gets a double graduate degree, and I don't know what it was. They mentioned it in the article. She's probably excited as hell, 29 years old, goes out to the Grand Canyon. I'm not a big fan of the Grand Canyon. I think it's cool, but I don't like it that much. Hires a guide, probably for safety reasons, her and some other people. At least according to the recent articles that I've read, the guides don't get an updated weather report, which changes a lot during this time of the year out there. And she drowns. And somebody else drowned with them. It came through the camp and just wiped the whole thing out. Another person's in critical condition. Now, if this is true and these guides didn't get an updated report, that is super tragic. And it's the same way I am with passengers in an airplane or taking someone on a boat. Me, personally, that's a whole nother level of responsibility. And I'll tell you this too, and you guys know this too. When you're out there fucking around, airplanes is a no-brainer. But when you're out there in the water in boats, I don't care if you're around a campfire or whatever, and you introduce drinking to it. And let me tell you, I drink. And you introduce alcohol to this kind of bullshit. You're sitting out there like I was last night. You do stupid shit when you're drinking. You don't realize it. This is what I tell people. Here, let me give you an example. There's sometimes I get a couple Dragon's Milks and I'll come home and I'll be editing movies and I'll be just fucking up shit left and right. Deleting stuff, deleting it out of my trash folder. Before you know it, I just took this video that I wanted to put up on YouTube and I've erased the thing. I've erased it out of 2 places. I've erased it off the SD card, I've erased it off saving it in a file, and I erased it in the recycle bin. You do stupid shit when you're drinking that you don't really realize until you get into something more complex like editing movies that requires multitasking. Here's something, if you don't believe that alcohol and marijuana affects your motor skills and your intelligence and every other damn thing related to safety, do this for me. Drink your favorite whatever. I'm not saying you got to get plastered. Even the low amounts of alcohol affect your judgment. Do this. Try and do some math. I've done it. Go try and do some math. Any kind of math. Fractions, multiplication, division. Why you're under the influence. If you're like me, you're starting over all the time on simple, stupid fractions. It's because you've been drinking. So when you're out there and people are counting on you for their safety, I don't drink anything when I got passengers or when I'm no way. It affects your motor skills. Now you may not get a drunk driving ticket if you get pulled over. You don't need to be getting on the expressway in the wrong way. But alcohol affects your judgment and your motor skills even in low amounts, for sure. Yeah, did you see that? I'll bet you money. Alcohol poisoning, or she was on some opiates and she just quit breathing. That'd be my guess. Mixing opiates and alcohol is a great way to kill yourself. Basically, you just go to sleep and never wake up. That's true, Adventures. No, same thing too. You know, I'll tell you, there's some things that you'll realize that you're just really bad at. I mean, sometimes I think could be like slightly retarded. I know you're not supposed to use that word, but you get the point, don't you? And here's my example. I mean, I think I'm okay at some things. I know my strengths and my weaknesses. And like most people, I avoid my weaknesses because I know I'm shitty at it. Who wants to be saying to themselves all day, God damn you stupid. I'm glad nobody's watching. But here's one thing that I struggle with. And I'm hoping that some of you people struggle with it too, because I won't feel quite as significantly impaired by mental retardation. And here's what it is. You know what it is? It's these goddamn ratchets that you these straps that you like ratchet shit down with. I struggle with those. You'd be better off giving a fifth of Jack Daniels to a mentally challenged chimpanzee and telling him to take this strap and ratchet down my kayak on my trailer. I struggle with that like a newborn baby. I fuck around with those. I turn them upside down. Sometimes I ratchet them the wrong way. God forbid if the cloth comes out of the ratchet. You know, where it comes out of that middle spindle, I'm totally hosed. I might as well just get twine and try and tie the goddamn thing down. I spend most of my time trying to figure out how these goddamn things work. I try them inside, outside, I ratchet them and I can't get it tight. Like, I'll give you an example. I thought I had them perfect for last night. I pulled in, got a 12-pack of Coors Light at the Shell gas station and some corn nuts. And one of my straps is off, and the plastics all wore off around the S-hook because it was dragging on the ground from where I pulled it out. But I don't know what it is with me. I even went and bought a new strap and ratchet. You know why? Because it was worth $7 to me to see what it was supposed to look like out of the box. I'm thinking there's got to be something wrong with the way this thing's coming out of this ratchet because I could never get this right. And sure as shit, man, I just can't, like, there's a part of my brain, I look at them like, what is this thing? You know, click, 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 doesn't do shit, doesn't get tight, put around another way. So tight, I can't get the releases to get the goddamn kayak off the trailer. I just struggle with these ratchet straps, man. I don't know whether it's a part of my brain missing or what. No shit, bungee cords. It's funny you should say that because I'm going to measure mine later. And I'm going to drill holes in that frame if I have to just bungee cord the goddamn thing down because you're going to find my kayak on the side of the expressway someday with all the about 2 inches worn down where it scraped across the expressway before it headed to the median because I messed up with these stupid ratchet straps. Oh, that's all right, Libby. It's not literal. It's not literal. No, but here's the thing that is sobering. I can remember when I was in high school, a guy telling me I was worried about learning how to shift a motorcycle. And he said, look at all these guys riding motorcycles, man. They dropped out of high school. They don't work. They're drugs, alcohol. And that really, you know, illuminated a light bulb. I thought, you know what, you're right, man. I should be able to do this. And it turned out where it wasn't any problem at all. But you'll go to like a truck stop or something and you'll see all these truckers and they're ratcheting this shit. They've got like 10 tons of steel. They got these 14-ton boats and all it is on there ratcheted with straps. And I've sometimes wanted to go up to them and say, hey, could you let me just give you $20 for a 5-minute lesson on how these goddamn things work. because I can't seem to get it right. I don't know whether the cloth's going in the wrong way, or sometimes they seem right, but then when I get there, they're all loose again. Oh, thank you, Chase. Oh, you shouldn't ride a motorcycle. They're too dangerous. I mean, you can do what you want, but I'd love a motorcycle, but I'm not riding one. Uh-uh. Yeah, like today, I'm gonna go in here and I will slowly, slink my way over to where the ratchets are, trying to look at one through a clear plastic cover to see if I can get this light bulb to come out of my brain, how these things work. Yeah, I know there's a hook at either end. I think that's the frustrating part. If this thing had 15 moving parts, I'd feel comfortable that, I just don't know how to work this thing, but it doesn't. It goes one way. There's two. It couldn't be a more simpler design piece of equipment, and I still can't figure it out. You can only ratchet it one way. Sometimes I get it. When I was laying in bed one night, I thought my big problem is there's too much cloth in the ratchet. I did figure that out. Like if I'm only ratcheting 5 feet, I don't need a 15-foot strap. So I've bought them the appropriate length, because you can't have too much cloth rolled up in the middle of it or it won't ratchet anymore. That's one thing I did figure out. But the rest of it, I struggle with these things. Yeah, last night it came loose. Last night, after I did that live, I went and stopped at the Shell gas station and wanted completely come off, which I don't see how it could do, because I ratcheted it tight. You couldn't even get your finger underneath it, like on the kayak. The S-hooks were in the holes in the frame on each side. I don't know how it could have got that loose. I don't. I mean, how can it be tight and then loose later and nothing changed? I'm about ready to give it over to Daisy. Well, I don't know. I don't know what else to do. One worked and one didn't. But now I'm like, bungee cords, man. That's more along my skill level. Oh, really, Libby? Yeah, no, I drove an ambulance for a while. I had 2 buddies get killed. And I thought to myself one day, I had a guy pull out in front of me and separated my shoulder. Got about 16 stitches in my hand. And I thought, you know what, I'm not riding these things anymore. Plus, I drove an ambulance for a year. And I thought, you know what, just not doing it. Look, here's the fact of the matter. It'll create an argument, which is why I just stay away from it. Somebody will say, do you like motorcycles? Yeah, I do like them. I love one. They're fast. You get good gas mileage just being out in the open. 3 people got killed hitting deer here last year. And they'll say, well, when it's your time, it's your time. I don't buy that. I don't live to that theory. I'm into risk analysis. I think flying a plane, if you do it under the safety and regulations, it's pretty damn safe. Skydiving's pretty damn safe. Paragliding is not safe. Paramotors is not safe. Riding a motorcycle is not safe. I can show you the data worldwide, whether you're in Brazil, South Africa, the United Kingdom, Traverse City, West Branch. The likelihood of significant injury on a motorcycle is through the roof, which is why the policy limits are so low on the medical, because they're counting on you exceeding those in any kind of accident. So personally, I just decided not to ride motorcycles about 44 years ago. It was an informed decision. I don't believe when it's your time, it's your time. I believe in risk. It's why I wear a life jacket instead of not. See, adventures. Yeah, I mean, even if you're young, man, I mean, the date is there. Just go crunch the numbers. Talk to an emergency room physician. No, see, you're smart, Simka. That's why. You're smart. You're lucky you survived him. You're not missing a leg or something. You know, it's one thing being dead, right? Nobody really knows what that's like. At least so far, nobody's got back with me. But I do know what, like, no legs and being a quadriplegic's like, because I've seen it before, and I don't want to be like that. I can't imagine. I'm sure there are worse ways to live, but I don't want to be steering myself around with a straw in my mouth for the next how many years. I'm not taking that kind of risk. No kidding, Angie. Wow. Oh, no kidding, Chase. Wow. Yeah, that's it, Edward. Yep. Simka, I'm surprised with that Jewish mother of yours. You were ever on a motorcycle to begin with. I'm surprised she wasn't able to monkey wrench that before it even happened. Yeah, that's it, Blue. Oh yeah, I'm not riding. I love them. I think motorcycles are cool. I mean, they're fun, high performance. Would she really? No kidding, huh? I had the Kawasaki 500, 750, and then I got a 900 and later a 1000. And then I thought like an idiot that I'd be safer. And I got bought a brand new Honda 750 from Siegel's in Monroe. And that's when I decided I'm not riding these things anymore. I love them. They're fun. Plus, if you're a young guy, if you go up to if you're dating or you want to get to know girls or something, there's nothing like a motorcycle to break the ice. No kidding, Michelle. Wow. Hey, Tony. I see a moose was swimming in the Sault Ste. Marie locks here a few weeks ago. I didn't even know there were moose up around there, to tell you the truth. I didn't think there were any moose near Sault Ste. Marie. Hear this thing swimming right down the locks. Yeah, I wish your husband lived near here because I'd definitely get something wrong. I guess I just can't recognize when they're set up right. Young and dumb. Hey, Frisky. No, I'm the same way. Yeah, no, me either. No way. Nope, not doing it. But I guess a lot of it's your philosophy in life. If there are people out there that think God's going to call you, like those people in that Miami condo, when it's your time. Now, if I believe that, well, then I'd probably ride a motorcycle because I'm not going to change that. It's different than fate. And if it really works that way and God calls you to the promised land, well, might as well ride a motorcycle then because I'm not going to change this equation either, whether I'm going to get fourth stage pancreatic cancer, I'm going to get hit on a motorcycle. When it's my time, it's my time. I might as well enjoy riding a motorcycle, but I don't think that way. I think about risk and plan my activities accordingly. It was, Simka. Yep, pure neglect. But you're going to find, there's a silver lining in everything. And I know it doesn't seem like that to the people that lost loved ones, but that event is going to rewrite volumes of safety mechanisms that were not in place until something like that had to happen. Yeah, I love planes. Yeah, I don't fly anymore. I mean, and I guess it's getting older. Flying changed a lot after 9/11. Man, you just can't fly low. You can't do this. You can't do that. If there's a politician in town, you can't fly near there. You can't go over Tiger Stadium. You can't fly over the Fermi. So I just kind of lost interest in it after that. I was on my way out of aviation anyway. So I would fly. I mean, but it's just too much bullshit for me. I did it for like a long time. And the bullshit isn't outweighs the fun I would have. Plus, it's super expensive. I mean, I just paid 2,600 for a used kayak and a trailer. You can go through $2,600 fooling around with an airplane in 3 days, no sweat. It's all right, hon. It's okay, honey. Stay there, hon. It is for that kind of kayak and trailer. It is, yeah. Trailers are hard to find right now. There's a shortage on them. That's actually a jet ski trailer modified. Yeah, I thought I got a good deal. I think I paid what it was worth, and I could spend forever looking for that kind of kayak and a trailer. Yeah, big time expensive. Yeah, airplane. Everything seems cheap after you get out of aviation. Good girl, hon. Good girl. I mean, I had a good time at it. Did it for a long time, but I don't really miss it. Believe it or not. I know this sounds nuts, but I'd rather watch planes take off and land than fly them. Getting old. It's not all bad. Yeah, email me. Yeah, email me at tomreed1956 at gmail.com. Tell them I need the words of wisdom on what this simple, like most dumbed down way to do this is. Well, I think I'm gonna go into Walmart and get my. I had a busted tail light on my kayak and a burned out light bulb that I had a hard time getting out of. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. Yeah, it was like that when I got it. I probably wouldn't even be fixing it, but I don't get my plate until Tuesday. No, Michelle, I'll check that out. Thank you. Wow. Travis McGee series. Yeah, I'm gonna go look at those. Believe me, I need one. I need an easy one. Either that or my kayak's gonna be in the median someplace. If you see a kayak on the side of the expressway, my kayak was a demo somewhere along the way. It looked like it was a place out of Columbus, Ohio called Outdoor Adventures. It's on the side. I don't give a shit. And stenciled in the back, like kind of burned in, like a cattle branding, is demo in little tiny, like 1/8 inch block letters. So evidently they didn't want somebody selling this as a, getting a deal from the factory, then selling it as one out of inventory. I don't care. I mean, it works fine. Yeah, you got that, Indigo. Yeah, I probably could. I probably could look it up, but I'm too lazy sometimes. I keep hoping that I'm going to get it right. I mean, it looks like such a simple apparatus, but I'm not kidding you. If I had to take ratchet straps and use them on a parachute, I would never parachute again because I could just see them like just free falling after I had been gliding down in my parachute, and then all of a sudden I'm free falling again because I left it up to myself to put the ratchets on the parachute. Thank you, Michelle. Have a good day today. You too, Jeannie. See you, Simka. See you, Tony. Yeah, me too. I think it's a part of my brain that's missing. I'm telling you, I just don't get it. I know people that had to transfer from the University of Michigan because they couldn't pass even the most basic language course. They couldn't. They took tutors and took just one class during the summer and still couldn't pass even a basic language course. So there are things that just don't compute with some people. Have a good day. See you, Frisky. Thanks, Chase. See you, Ed. Oh, did he? Well, I feel better already, Einstein. I know he liked women quite a bit. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, thank you, Indigo. I feel better already. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.